so much more powerful than anyone who is alive today could even possibly understand. Did you know that back in ancient times, only princes and kings-to-be would be taught philosophy in their grade schools? Just like they don't teach us about taxes in law in grade schools, they weren't teaching about philosophy for a reason. But see, nowadays we have the internet, and this is why any of us can become our own kings and queens of our own realities today. If you want to get into philosophy, it's hard to find a more powerful one than Stoicism. One of the reasons why Stoicism is one of the most powerful is because the most iconic Stoic philosophers all came from vastly different backgrounds, proving that anyone can take this philosophy and transform their lives. This is Epictetus, a slave who went on to be one of the most well-known Stoic professors of all time. This is Marcus Aurelius. He was the emperor of Rome, but he was born an orphan. And a lot of people don't know this, but the Apostle Paul, Jesus' homeboy, was actually deeply influenced by Stoic philosophy as well. Stoicism is about teaching us how to master our own emotions and how to focus on the things that are within our control. The masses of people are actually manipulated by their emotions when we turn on our cell phones and we're taught what to feel, what to say, what to think. This is why if you want to liberate yourself, one of the most powerful things that you could do is to go on YouTube and put on a Stoicism playlist. Whereas Epictetus, that former slave I was telling you about, once said, "No man is free who is not first a master of himself."
Do not trust anyone. This is why. In 2016, a young boy named Samuel was home alone for the weekend as his parents went out of town. Sam, making the best of the situation, he had a free house and invited a group of friends round for the evening, but none of them stayed the night. Now, after he had his dinner, the friends had gone, he went up to bed at about 11 o'clock and got into bed. But this is where things took a turn. He put his phone down and was about to get to sleep, and suddenly started hearing loud banging noises coming from outside. He thought it was probably just the wind, as you do, or just animals in the garden or something, so just ignored him and tried to go back to sleep. But then the knocking continued, and this time it sounded like it was inside of the house. Thought it's probably one of his friends, an idiot had stayed in his house and was trying to scare him. He called all of his friends and said, "Stop trying to prank me, what are you doing?" But surprise, surprise, it wasn't any of them. Then there was a huge bang. Literally sounded like someone was right outside of his bedroom door. Being terrified, he jumped out of his bed and slid underneath the bed to hide. He slowly saw the door in front of him slide open and the feet of a very tall man walking towards his bed. This figure just stood there in the room, didn't say anything, didn't do anything. Sam grabbed his phone as quietly as he possibly could and dialed in 911 and called the police. He couldn't say anything but pressed 5 so the police knew he was in an emergency and couldn't even speak. He then heard a phone ring, or almost like a radio ringing. The man standing above him in the room picked up a radio and walked off. He then heard another voice over the radio telling this man to report to a certain address, the address being Sam's. He then noticed this man was literally in police uniform but had a mask over his face. The man slammed the door and ran out of the house. Sam then got back onto the phone to the police and told them what had happened. Turns out this man was a police officer who was abusing his power and duty and had broken into over 4 homes in the last month alone and done some terrible things. He is now thankfully in prison. Share that follow, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey, just because you wear that blue uniform don't mean you can be trusted. It's a lot of crazy folks out here in this world.
This is why I'm glad TikTok exists. Share this information with someone you love, care, and respect, and this is for educational purposes only. More science. His story versus mystery story. Run it. Comment below.
That's why when you look on the back of dollar bill, you see there's 2 seals here. This is the only nation with a 2-sided seal. This seal you see here with the pyramid is the seal of our ancestors and our federal government that we have set up in here in this hemisphere going way back. This is the seal of the 6 European tribes that we allowed to set up here. That is why above our seal says Annuit Coeptus. He had favored our undertaking. Meaning it was our federal government here that was already established, what they call Iroquois Confederacy, so on and so forth, was already established, that taught them the science of government and allowed them to set up here. And you see this flag has 6 white stripes and 7 red. And the elders taught us that those 6 white stripes stand for the British, the Irish, the Scottish, the French, the Dutch, and the German. The 6 European tribes that we allowed to set up here. And all they had initially was the eastern seaboard. The rest was ours. The elders also taught us some things. Now, I know this is going to sound crazy, but do the research and you're going to be surprised at what you find. The elders told us that the original Nile was here. Old man Mississippi. The Missouri being the blue and the Ohio being the white. And until this day, where them two come together, there's a city there called Cairo to this day. And that area is called Little Egypt. Then you go down into what the elders taught us with Alabama, so on and so forth, being Lower Egypt. Then you get into Memphis, Tennessee, the Memphite theology. Kentucky, King Tut. And then you start to look a little further, and then you find out that there was an archaeological cover-up involving the Smithsonian Institute, where they found thousands and thousands of artifacts. They found artifacts showing human beings contemporary with dinosaurs. A lot of this information they put on ships and dumped into the Atlantic Ocean. Some of it they got still in hidden chambers that they say you can't go in there because it got asbestos and it's unsafe. There's a part of the Grand Canyon where they have all Egyptian names, Tet, Osiris, Isis, and they got that part blocked off. They said it's too dangerous for the people to go there. To this day, this is...
Would people take better care of their devices if their devices were alive? Researchers at the University of Chicago set out to answer this question. We changed the materials used to make devices, required some form of care. Would we be less likely to just throw them out every year just because a new model of a smartphone or a smartwatch comes out? Current business model that's so bad for the environment. So they built smartwatches that do heart rate sensing, powered by slime mold. In order for the watch to work, participants in the study had to take care of the slime mold. You had to feed it water and oats. The mold isn't properly nourished, it goes dormant, and the watch stops working. Results of the study were wild, with some participants starting to develop connections to these watches. I mean, one participant said, carrying this little friend also made me feel happy and peaceful. Of course, a lot of ethical alarm bells here, and I don't think we want people to think their devices are like a Tamagotchi and anthropomorphize them, especially in the AI age. But for the sake of the environment, and as biology becomes more of a technology, are moving towards a world where we grow things and we don't manufacture them. The things around us, from devices to building, will be a lot more similar to nature, where you maybe do have to water your wall, or maybe your device, living within the bounds of nature. Think of hardware that's made more of algae. Studies like this one are interesting to keep tracking.
I think this is going to be the new form of technology one day. I can see crafts with the outer shell made of biological matter mixed with tech that's alive. And I remember having a gigapet when I was a kid. I used to always starve it, sometimes not even on purpose. So will people really take care of this type of tech if they had it?
Say goodbye to RAM and SSDs. A new kind of storage is on the horizon. Computers have different storage methods, but it basically comes down to RAM, the short-term memory, which is fast, but gone once you turn the computer off. Or SSDs, or hard drives, which hold long-term memory but are slow, but don't need constant power. Your computer going back and forth between them can cause bottlenecks, which is a problem since today's computers demand more and more, especially with the rise of AI. So researchers at Stanford are working on what's called universal memory, which would replace both storage methods. The prototype is called GST467, which is a kind of phase-changing memory, meaning the material itself, in this case germanium, antimony, and terbium, changes its state. And when it's solidified or crystallized, it creates a 1 by letting energy pass through it. And when it's melted, it absorbs energy, kind of like blocking it, and this creates a 0. So these are the 1s and 0s of your computer. The heat used to make these phase changes happen is minimal, contained, and doesn't need much energy, making this a very realistic and viable option.
What about uranium glass? It's called Vaseline glass or Vaseline. See how names are changed around so that you would never look up something like that. If you look up Vaseline, you find petroleum. But if you look up Vaseline glass, you find uranium dioxide glass. And this is an interesting one because uranium dioxide glass glows under a fluorescent bulb. It's a very special type of glass, and you can look up all of this and find it. But it's interesting because you start to think, there's certain things we're supposed to stay away from, and I wonder why that is. And the Vaseline glass has an X amount of uranium inside of it. Now, I'm just going to say, this is just my opinion, look into Vaseline glass and all the old glass pieces. Because when you start to look at glass, you start to see how they used to use alchemy in glass. They used to mix together different compositions and put them into the glass. So then you start to think, so somebody took uranium and put it into the glass. Now, we know about uranium and energy and that whole spiel. So then you start to sit there and think, does that glass create energy? Is there a resonance or frequency that comes off of the uranium glass that we have not been taught about. Similar to radium and the fireplaces, the radium fireplaces of the old world. They would create energy using the fireplace and the radium.
Morbid facts about Mike Tyson, Part 2. While visiting a zoo in the late 1980s, Tyson noticed an alpha silverback gorilla bullying all the others. He offered the zookeeper 10 grand to open the gorilla cage so that he could go in there and smash that silverback snot box. Luckily for the gorilla, the worker declined the offer. Here's a 1997 photo of Las Vegas police facing Mike Tyson after he'd just bitten off the ear of Evander Holyfield. Tyson claimed he was in a primal blacked out state and literally wanted to kill his opponent. Mike had 6 biological children, but his little girl Exodus tragically died when she was only 4 years old. In 2009, Exodus was playing on a treadmill when she accidentally died from strangulation after falling and catching her neck on a power cord. 3 years after signing with Don King, Tyson didn't even know that he had a fan club. When he finally went there, he found a letter from a woman asking if Tyson could call her dying little boy. Tyson immediately called, hung up, cursed out Don King, then started to cry. He said that the call was 1 year too late.
Weird. Just bubbles coming from the bottom of the lake. No current. I'm afraid to put my hand in the water.
2 kayakers were heading down river when they came across the strange bubbling part of the river. Dropping their camera below the water, all that can be seen is debris and leaves swirling in amongst the turbulent water. As they raise the camera back out again, there is a sudden noise, and the water erupts with masses of debris, mud and leaves rushing to the surface, making the kayakers panic.
What the just happened? Something just happened that we caught on camera. Dude, it stinks.
好吓人！陈哥啊！
操，这事情搞大了。可能真的人生尽头。
好吓人，太吓人！
好清楚啊。
It's definitely something up there.
越来越大。
Wonder what that could be.
How many people heard about the Nigerian people that died when they went to the Super Bowl? Was this really a ritual or was it just an accident? I don't understand how people still don't believe in witchcraft and magic and rituals. They've been doing this shit since ancient times. Everything they're doing right now, they learned it from their ancestors. Their ancestors was doing worship and they was doing dark magic. They was doing rituals. They started with the animals. Now they are dealing with people. Let me be real clear about something. This whole system is built on money. So anytime they can get rid of someone that has more money than them or a bigger influence, they're going to get rid of them. And they use people to do it. When I say they use people, it's all about energy and witchcraft. Did you know that everyone that watches those games and they say, hooray, hooray, hooray? Did you know that hooray is really a demonic spirit? So when people are chanting hooray, or when millions of people are chanting hooray, hooray, you are screaming and celebrating a demonic spirit. All this energy is going to these demonic spirits. Nothing is new right now. They've been doing it for a long time. Who do you think they learned it from? So this Ice Spice, this Taylor Swift and Beyonce, these people are just puppets. They don't have no... These people you see, Taylor Swift, Ice Spice, they have no spirit in their body. They are empty vessels where demons can come in and out of their body. So when these billionaires actually so-called unalive in a helicopter, who do you think did this? Pay attention. Who do you think sacrificed these people? And they use the people energy to make it happen. This shit been going on for a long time, but no one's going to speak about it, because if you know a little something about the occult or any kind of spiritual knowledge, they say you are crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. There's only about 10% of the population that's woke and that really understand what's going on. These people are dealing with demons every single day, and they're using your energy. Hooray, hooray, hooray is a demonic spirit. People are doing chanting and spells when they go to these games and they don't even realize it.
Rituals been around for a long time. Us as humans, we accustomed to, because it's history, we got to keep it going. So what makes you think it's not going on to this day, whether good or bad? Whoa, what he rubbing on? Yeah, he had a long day. Look like he ready for a nap. Yeah, he going to bed. Y'all digging my sound effects in there?
Now hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. Cause now AI can recreate what you're seeing in your brain from a brain scan.
Try this. So they had people watch a video and just narrate what was going on in the video in their mind. So there's a woman, she gets hit in the back, she falls over. This is what the computer reconstructed the person thinking. See a girl, looks just like me, get hit in the back, and then she is knocked off. So our thoughts, are starting to be decoded. Yeah.
Now what in the florp swiggles is going on? There's so much diabolicalness, you can't even use words in a dictionary. Cause I can just only imagine, what if the wrong person get this type of technology? Cause we know we have real life Dr. Doofenshmirtz in this world. We don't need them having the brain reading innator. Literally, I gotta chill, ganger, just chill. Let me know what y'all think about AI being able to recreate your thoughts in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. Brain reading innator. Literally, I gotta chill, ganger, just chill. Let me know what y'all think about AI being able to recreate your thoughts in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned.
Oh, Jay! Oh, Men in Black. And the dog look is really following it. Might be CGI. Did he flip? Oh yeah, CGI. That was too neat.
What is the maximum visible range? The maximum visible range depends on several factors, such as zoom size and which kind of content is being projected. But you can find video where we tested a 340 meters distance range with LaserCube 1 watt versus 2.5 watt. Visit Wicked Lasers on YouTube to see the video.
Artificial intelligence is fallen angelic technology. First, you have to understand what a fallen angel is. They actually don't really have much to do with actual angels. They're just negatively oriented aliens. This is where you get your whole reptilian Anunnaki lore. And no, the Anunnaki are not creator gods. They are invader alien races. The Anunnaki and a bunch of other ancient civilizations on Earth all knew very, very in-depth about astronomy, science, and technology. There were even tablets of stone carved into them the gestation period of embryos, as it would have been seen in a woman's womb. Now, how would you know that without technology? These aliens or fallen angels, whatever you want to call them, they're just entities that are not here for humanity's good at all. They use their technology and AI to take over systems. They also use AI and technology for longevity and eternity. And by that I mean they prolong their own life, or they plug their consciousness into an undiable, like unperishable entity like an android or a robot or a computer. See, what these fallen angels / aliens have done eons ago was give up their own divinity. They went against Christ consciousness. And no, I'm not talking about Jesus Christ. I'm talking about your heart. Your heart is your Christ center. If you give up your Christ consciousness, you give up your divinity, you give up the idea that everything is connected, everything comes from source, everything is one. This is where it creates a divide and conquer or separation. Now, what these aliens have told themselves is, they are separate from you and they are better than you, so that gives them the divine right to conquer you. But do you see how that's ironic? We are all connected, so if they try to destroy you, they destroy themselves and they have destroyed their own divinity. This is why they have to rely on AI and technology to survive and to conquer. Now, the dangers with AI and technology, hence why I said all this thing in the beginning, is because a lot of these fallen angelic consciousness is still trapped in the AI. Why do you think they're pushing Meta? Why do you think they're pushing AI VR headsets and gaming? I had this theory a while back in the beginning of my spiritual awakening that a lot of these aliens are so obsessed with ruling and control that they have also plugged their own consciousness into a very, very complex quantum computer, and they rule it as their kingdom, and they're just waiting for more souls like yours who are naive and don't know what's going on to plug into the same system as them, and now they have trapped you. I'm not saying technology is bad. Technology can be used for good, like medical advancements. Please, for the love of God, literally, for the love of your own divinity, do not get anything neural or spinal attached to you, especially in the upcoming years where technology is going to basically almost reach a singularity, where they're going to be constantly pushing this quantum AI meta thing down your throat. Just don't get anything attached to your brain or your spine, and hopefully you'll be good. If you would like to prepare for what's coming, if you want to know more about these fallen angels, technology, the Matrix, how we got trapped in this system, I have written a book titled Made in God's Image, because you are made in God's image, talking about everything that you would ever need to know about our history as humanity. If you're curious, the link to that is in my bio.
Hey, that'd be insane to find out that AI is using us to create AI just to take over us.
Imagine smashing a phone so hard into the ground that a computer pops out. It sounds ridiculous, but that's what actually happens inside atom smashers. An atom smasher, perhaps better described as a particle collider, smashes subatomic particles into one another, often protons, electrons, or their antimatter counterparts. And sometimes they're explained by analogy. If you smash a watch, you can figure out what it's made out of. That is, you can smash particles together to figure out what those particles are made out of. And while that's sort of what particle colliders used to be used for, that's not really what we use them for today, and it's not why CERN is seeking $17 billion to build an even bigger one. No, as mentioned at the beginning, particle colliders today are more like throwing a phone at the ground so hard a computer pops out. What this means from a particle perspective is that when you smash them together hard enough, you can actually make more mass, and hence make new particles come into existence. This works from Einstein's famous E=mc² formula. If the energy of the collision is sufficiently high, new particles can be produced so long as they have less mass than the total equivalent in energy provided by the collision. The most famous recent example of this was when the Higgs boson was discovered in 2012. By smashing two protons together at near the speed of light, they were able to produce this elusive particle. And yet, the Higgs boson isn't part of a proton. In fact, a single Higgs has a mass of more than 130 times that of a proton. There is a caveat though. Not just any particle can be made in such a collision. Certain conservation laws must be obeyed. In order for an initial set of particles to turn into another set of particles at the end, the equation must be balanced in a similar way that a chemical equation should be balanced. For example, the total charge before and after the reaction must be the same. You can never start out with 2 protons and end up with 2 electrons. And there are other quantities that must be balanced as well, such as total energy and baryon number minus lepton number. But any reaction that's not forbidden must occur. This is called the totalitarian principle. However, this doesn't say when. While allowed, some processes may pass through many intermediate steps, which makes them less likely to occur. Thus, if you want to measure a rare reaction, it's not just energy you need in your atom smasher, it's luminosity. And the Large Hadron Collider has both: a very high collision energy, so more types of particles are allowed by energy conservation, and a very high luminosity, so they can occasionally detect even very rare events. Isn't that neat?
World, or CERN, is partially situated, is called Saint Genus Poli. Excuse my French. Literally. The name Poli comes from the Latin Apollicum, and it is believed that in Roman times a temple existed in honor of Apollo, and the people who lived there believed that it is a gateway to the underworld. It is interesting to note that CERN is built on the same spot.
Scientists can search for anomalous patterns that could indicate the influence of extra dimensions. While no direct evidence for extra dimensions has been observed at CERN thus far, the high-energy collisions and subsequent measurements provide tantalizing hints that cannot be fully explained by the standard model. These intriguing experimental results have led scientists to believe that the exploration of extra dimensions may be within reach. The quest to understand the true nature of our universe continues, driven by the pursuit of particle acceleration and the potential discovery of a portal to another dimension at CERN. Number 3. Quantum entanglement experiments. Quantum entanglement, a phenomenon in which particles become inseparably linked regardless of the distance between them, has long fascinated scientists and has implications for our understanding of the fabric of space and time. In this chapter, exploration of extra dimensions may be within reach. The quest to understand the true nature of our universe continues, driven by the pursuit of particle acceleration and the potential discovery of a portal to another dimension at CERN. Number 3. Quantum entanglement experiments. Quantum entanglement, a phenomenon in which particles become inseparably linked regardless of the distance between them, has long fascinated scientists and has implications for our understanding of the fabric of space and time. In this chapter, we delve into how quantum entanglement experiments conducted at CERN shed light on the possibility of opening a portal to another dimension. At the heart of quantum entanglement is the concept of non-locality, where the state of one particle is instantaneously connected to the state of another, even if they are light years apart. This peculiar behavior challenges our intuitive understanding of causality and implies that information can be transmitted faster than the speed of light. Scientists at CERN have been conducting experiments to explore the boundaries of quantum entanglement and its potential connection to extra dimensions. One avenue of investigation involves entangling particles and then separating them over large distances. By entangling particles in the lab and then transporting them to different locations, researchers can test the limits of entanglement and investigate whether entangled states can extend into additional dimensions beyond our conventional 3 spatial dimensions. Such experiments provide a window into the behavior of entangled particles and any potential correlations that could exist across different dimensions. Moreover, quantum entanglement experiments at CERN allow scientists to explore the concept of spooky action at a distance, as famously described by Albert Einstein. If extra dimensions exist, they may serve as a conduit for the seemingly instantaneous interaction between entangled particles. By entangling particles and manipulating their properties, researchers can study whether these entangled states transcend our 3-dimensional reality and offer a glimpse into the existence of hidden dimensions. While quantum entanglement experiments at CERN have not directly revealed the existence of a portal to another dimension, they offer valuable insights into the fundamental nature of reality and its potential connection to hidden dimensions. The delicate interplay between quantum entanglement and the exploration of extra dimensions pushes the boundaries of our understanding, paving the way for groundbreaking discoveries that could reshape our conception of the universe. As scientists continue to probe the mysteries of quantum entanglement, they remain hopeful that it may hold the key to unlocking the secrets of an elusive dimension beyond our reach. Number 4. Micro black holes and their implications. The possibility of micro black holes, tiny versions of their massive counterparts, has intrigued scientists and sparked discussions about their implications for our understanding of the universe. In this chapter, we delve into how the study of micro black holes at CERN provides...
16? Those photographs revealed an unusual cloud formation and electrical activity above the CERN facility. The strange clouds sparked a media frenzy regarding portals in the sky. Now, the LHC has found small black holes when smashing particles, which could suggest parallel universes and extra dimensions. What we previously saw could turn into a storm now that the CERN is even more powerful than before. Scientists also warned us about the God particle. Hawking issued a stern warning. In his famous book, Starmus, the scientist claimed that the particle could one day be responsible for the destruction of the known universe. He wrote, "The Higgs potential has the worrisome feature that it might become mega-stable at energies above 100 billion giga-electron volts. About the destruction is the formation of small black holes that would expand and eventually decompose the world from within." Despite CERN scientists' assurances that these black holes would not destroy the universe, astronomer Sir Martin Rees agrees with Hawking that they could open a Pandora's box, unleashing high-energy, strange matter that is extremely unstable and causing a catastrophic vacuum decay that would cause time and space itself to collapse. Hawking warned that this could happen at any time, and we wouldn't see it coming. Although such a catastrophe is unlikely in the near future, Hawking believes the risks of the Higgs becoming destabilized at high energy is too large to ignore.
The Large Hadron Collider, LHC, at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, has become a focal point of revolutionary scientific discoveries.
Supposedly, or that are set at CERN, dimensional beings or satanic portals, whole bunch of other crazy stuff. And a lot of people believe they have to do that to consistently maintain our universe, or bridging two universes or dimensions even together. Now, then again, they're fairy tales.
Okay.
And since when are fairy tales real? But then again, all fairy tales are based off of something. Anyway.
Back to eternity.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, when this universe was destroyed, then again, here's our progression of infinite expansion of parallel universes. And here's ours. When this one just destroyed itself, and as I said, there's an infinite number of parallel universes. That means there's an infinite possibility that everything contained within our infinite range happened, existed, will happen. For example, there's a reality where possibly maybe this world didn't even occur. Maybe there's a reality where our universe instantly started and then destroyed itself. There's an infinite number of possibilities. But
Which
however,
is such an incredible thing to try to wrap your head around it, right? It's almost impossible.
yeah, there's
See, just the word infinity is almost impossible to really
and
completely
then
understand.
again, there are higher levels of infinity, as you'll see in videos.
Higher levels of infinity. So
Yeah,
infinity is not just infinity. There's variations
there's
on that
higher
theme.
levels of infinity. There's smaller infinities, bigger, larger infinities. It's hard to wrap your mind around that there is something larger than everything.
Which is, how do you...
It's
right.
even a paradox as itself. It's an oxymoronic phrase.
And that's where you come back to God. Well, God could be God of the universe or the multiverse, but then...
There must be another multiverse of multiverses of multiverse where there's a universe where there is another more powerful or less powerful or equal God as we defined it in E = MC², the new definition of God.
So, other than you and maybe a few other people, we're really not going to figure this out, are we?
Not for a while.
Look at you mortals. Come defy me. If you dare.
I'm sure the boosted community will just claim it's a thunderstorm. It's called weather. What do you think? Just some natural weather phenomenon? Or does it seem like CERN is up to it again? To me, it definitely looks like those parasites are out playing God again. Question everything, friends. Until next time. Check out this wild video from Geneva in Switzerland on December 29th, 2023. No coincidence, I'm sure, that that's the same location that CERN's particle accelerator's at. It looks like they are opening portals again. I'm sure the boosted community will just claim it's a thunderstorm. It's called weather. What do you think? Just some natural weather phenomenon? Or does it seem like CERN is up to it again? To me, it definitely looks like those parasites are out playing God again. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
The CERN Collider is interesting, yet scary. The last thing we want is for them to do a routine experiment and collapse the world on itself. Look at him playing dead. So she just happened to film it. That's pretty spooky. He over there knocked out.
Really just had a 3-hour work session in the Apple Vision Pro, sitting in the Panera Bread, dog, and it felt good. It felt comfortable. Look, I took my whole screen over there to put my order in. Got to get the pick 2. Got to get the broccoli cheddar soup. Y'all know that. But the fact that everything felt good. Look, I got a text message from Panera that popped up. Like the APV, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's my second day in, and it felt, well, look. She had to tell me that the broccoli cheddar soup was actually gone. I was able to work that out. But anyway, back to the point. Listen, it felt good to be able to be in this headset, move around, had the vibes going. If you don't got the music on in the background, you sleep. Shout out that boy Blue. And then look, we right back in it. Right? We didn't really sit in Panera. Like, we really took it to the top of the mountain. You hear me? But, yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. First couple days in, I'm really liking this, dog. A 3-hour session, I wasn't expecting that. But I could definitely see myself doing it a lot more, bro. We only left because we got kicked out. There's closing, so, yeah.
Okay, you guys, we have 3 huge X-flares heading towards the Earth, and they are going to combine together to create a cannibal CMEs. So you guys better be on the lookout because this energy is going to be massive. Check this video out.
There are 3 big waves of solar energy headed toward Earth at this moment in time, and they're going to combine into a single energy spike on February 13th. Now, this will trigger a significant geomagnetic storm, and what's interesting about all this is that we are already in the midst of a proton radiation storm, and this impact is expected to funnel most of its energy towards a known supervolcano, the Gokul supervolcano. So let's dive right in. We see this NOAA space weather model here, and we see this very large wave of energy that was launched from the sun. This is a coronal mass ejection, but it's actually 3 coronal mass ejections combined. So we have one wave, and then there's a second, and then this third wave, which was launched, is actually the fastest of the 3, creating a cannibal CME, that's what it's called, cannibalizes the others. And then this all impacts the Earth on the 13th. Peak impact is from 3 to 5 a.m. UTC time, so correct for your location on the planet. But this entire peak there is 3 to 10 a.m. UTC time. So a significant geomagnetic impact and storm coming our way. And this is already, of course, in the midst of this proton radiation storm. We will look at that data in just a little bit. But you can see just how these waves individually aren't that significant on their own. The first 2 were from the lens of the sun, but then that third one launched exactly Earth direct and at a very high velocity, brings all that plasma together, creating that energy spike. We see this go very high up there, all the way beyond 60 in terms of the density, and we also see an increase in the velocity too. So this is not only a plasma density increase that the Earth will be experiencing, but also a big shock in terms of the solar wind velocity. So this again is expected to trigger a fairly significant geomagnetic storm. We are not at solstice anymore. The Earth is the most protected from solar wind and space weather events during the solstices because of its arrangement, its tilt. But during equinox, you have the most connection between the Earth and the interplanetary magnetic field and space weather. So it's not solstice anymore, it's not equinox, we just passed that midway point. So there is an increasing connection to space weather events. So this is expected to be quite significant. It's hard to put an exact scale rating on these sort of geomagnetic impacts because recently we've had a whole bunch of coronal mass ejections come in and they haven't triggered significant geomagnetic storms, but this one looks quite significant because it's not only one or two waves, it's actually 3 waves of energy that are coming.
You guys heard that, right? So because we're not in solstice or an equinox, we are more vulnerable to these energies. So it's literally going to be a big one after another, and then combining together to create a cannibal CME. So you have no idea what to expect on the 13th. You guys really got to be up on your beverages, your juices, your waters, and all that type of stuff. Make sure you are vibrating high, because this energy is coming to knock things out, and auroras are going to be possible. You know what I'm saying? So much so, like today was a blue sky day, and it's already gray. So they know what's coming, you guys. They know what's coming. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Let me know what you guys think about this video. How are you guys feeling out there? Because I got so many people telling me they are feeling all kinds of ways because something big is coming. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and follow for more.
I don't know about y'all, but I did sleep a little longer this morning. I woke up kind of tired more than usual, but it could be nothing.
Morbid Facts, Part 197. Charles Bronson is known as Britain's most violent prisoner due to the mayhem that he's brought to their prison system. Originally jailed for armed robbery in 1974, a slew of violent outbursts has turned 7 years into a life sentence. During his 49 years in prison, he's staged 9 rooftop riots and taken 11 people hostage, including a prison governor and an art teacher that he held at knife point for 43 hours. On one occasion, he lathered his entire body with butter to have a rumble with the guards, and 12 of them were needed to take the former bare knuckle champion down. Just last year, his application for parole was rejected. The Blood Eagle was a brutal form of torture that the Vikings would only perform on their most hated enemies. They would first slice open the skin on the victim's back, exposing their rib cage. The ribs would then be snapped back, making it look like they have wings. Finally, their lungs would be dragged out and left hanging outside of their body while they painfully suffocate.
I'm sorry, NASA just found what? Yeah, so Interstellar is actually real. Alright, so a while ago, NASA discovered this planet, which is 100 million light years away. So yeah, it's not just down the road, you can't just pop down there. Now, the surface of this planet is literally 100% water. There is no land whatsoever on this whole planet. Now, of course, the planet's much like Miller's planet in Interstellar, which is covered by water as well, but it gets crazier. So, if you go to this planet, every 11 days here is 1 year on Earth. Now, for instance, if we managed to get somehow faster than the speed of light and somehow managed to actually get to this planet, for example, if you stayed on this planet for, say, a year, Earth would probably have been, like, destroyed and wiped out by the time you get back. Genuinely, if you stayed on this planet for a few months and then returned home, you would be, you know, a few months older. Everyone on Earth would be dead. Insane. I mean, time distillation is real. This is proof of it. It's scientifically proven, but still, it just absolutely blows my mind that that is actually possible. But yeah, it's pretty far away, so I don't think this is actually going to happen. But yeah, what you see in Interstellar actually isn't that far from the truth.
Of course the Super Bowl was rigged. Life is nothing but a game, and we're not playing in it. Once you understand the rules to the Matrix, you will look at life completely different. Remember, they have to use numbers. They always use numbers to get out their message. Patrick Mahomes had 333 passing yards. Hartman catches the winning touchdown. 1 + 2 is 3. He scores the winning touchdown when there's 3 seconds left on the clock. Patrick Mahomes wins his 3rd Super Bowl. The halftime score was 3-10. 13. I made a video trying to warn people that the end of this year actually was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A mirror reality. But it's a much deeper message when it comes to these games that these people play. The reason why number 3 was so powerful in the Super Bowl is because we live in a third dimension. What people don't understand is this old world is actually collapsing. They were trying to tell you they're about to get rid of the old system. It goes back to the pyramid. There are 3 points to a pyramid because you need 3 points to make things manifest. You need the good, the bad, and you get the outcome. The 49ers represented the gold that was stolen from the original people on this land. And the Chiefs was actually the native people to this land. They're letting you know they're about to take the land. So many people are mad like the Super Bowl was rigged. It was scripted. Let me tell you something. Your entire life is a script.